Well, what is going on? Listen, leaders, I am speaking specifically to you today. Listen to me now. Listen, burnout is quietly draining the US 1,000 workers like literally every single day we are being drained and it's coming from this thing that we call burnout. And listen. This what I'm talking about. These aren't things that we're talking about that were happening 5 years ago. These are things that are literally happening right now on your watch, in your culture, and it's happening. Honestly, it's happening on your team. Hopefully, I have your attention now. Listen, welcome to Unmuted. We call this segment the Leadership Reset. If I don't know you, my name is Phillip Edge, and I'm specifically here to help you silence the noise, unmute what really matters, and reset how you lead in a disconnected world. Listen, every single week, I'm trying my best to bring you just a mindset shift. I'm trying to bring you a practical tool. I'm trying to give you one leadership challenge. You know why? Because this connection stuff that I know I speak about a lot, it's not soft skills. It's really strategic. So I want to jump into this thing today and just talk to you about something honestly that kind of blew my mind. I was reading and there's a recent study from the American Journal of Preventative Medicine, right? And they modeled the impact of burnout, right? They looked at workload, they looked at fairness, they looked at finances, they looked at health, and here's what they found, y'all. They said hourly workers, right? Speaking about hourly workers, they said burnout costs around $4,000 per person per year. That's for an hourly worker. But check this out. For executives, try $20,000 per company. That's what you're spending just from burnout. Check this out. And if you've got over 1,000 people on your payroll, that number can go up to $5 million loss annually. Why do I bring that up? Listen, y'all, this isn't an HR issue. What we're speaking about is really, it's a leadership issue and it's a culture issue. And at the core of this issue, I truly believe that the problem is connection, right? Let me be clear. Burnout is wrecking your bottom line. And the truth is this, most of what we're seeing in the workplace is preventable. It's preventable. But it won't be solved by like, giving somebody a stress ball or something like that. It's not going to be solved by, having the wellness Wednesday. It's not going to be solved by having another party with the team in the break room. This is not going to solve the issue and the challenge of burnout. It's not going to do it, right? Burnout, listen to me. Burnout doesn't respond to the perks. Burnout's not responding to the perks, y'all. But you know what it does respond to? It responds to people centered leadership. Check this out. Because the opposite of burnout, it's not just rest. I believe the opposite of burnout is belonging, right? It's belonging. So if burnout is creeping in on your team, let me say this as plainly as I know how. It's not just a people problem. It's not just a people problem. You know what it is? It's a leadership signal. And leaders, it should be a signal to you. Like the smoke signal should be going off. The alarm should be going off in the workplace. It should be going off if you're seeing people and they're experiencing burnout. And if you want to turn things around, though, if you want to turn things around, look, check this out. Today, I got 3 culture shifts that I want to share with you. My hope is that it'll help mitigate employee burnout before it becomes a crisis. Because y'all, it's a crisis now. I'm just keeping it real with us, right? It's a crisis, and we're seeing it. So let me give you these 3 things, y'all, because I am not going to be with you long today. First thing, right? Have you heard this? Have you heard this or you sing this? The employee who's saying, I don't feel seen. I only feel used. Let me say it again. I don't feel seen. I only feel used. See, most people don't burn out from working too hard. They burn out from feeling invisible while they're working. Let me say it again. They're not burning out because they're working too hard. They're burning out because they're feeling invisible while they're doing the work, right? While they're doing the work, right? They show up, they grind, They're producing. They're doing what they've been asked to do, but they feel like nobody sees them, right? The only thing that people see is their output, and that becomes problematic, right? If the only time someone hears from you is when something is wrong or when something's due, that's not leadership, y'all. That's not leadership. You know what I call that? I call that management by demand. That's what it is. That's management by demand. So what's the research? What's the reason? What should we do instead when we hear the I don't feel seen, I only feel used? Here's a reset. Listen now. Start showing up for people outside of the tasks, right? We don't have to be the taskmaster. Show up for them outside of the task. I know you're like, well, Phillip, how do I show up outside of the task? It's real simple. How about say thank you, right? How about saying thank you when it's not expected? How about asking people, listen, how are you, right? And then after you ask, hey, how are you doing? Why don't you pause and actually listen to them? Right? Like for real, like give them your undivided attention. I guarantee they're not even expecting you to sit and wait. Ask them, how you really doing? What's going on? So let me give you a challenge. Let me give you a challenge with this one. Listen. This is what I need you to do. I want you to shout someone out, not for what they did, but for how they carry themselves. Let me say it again. Shout someone out, not for what they did, but for how they carry themselves, right? When we do that, that subtle shift, it's going to tell your team this. Listen, it's going to tell your team, I see you. I see you. Even when you're not producing, look, I still see you. Watch this. And you still matter. And you still matter. So the first thing is I don't feel seen. I only feel used. That's the first thing. Let me give you the second one. You might be hearing this. I don't know where I stand, right? They're working hard, but they don't know where they stand, right? What does that stem from? Unclear expectations. Yep. Unclear expectations are one of the most draining things that happen inside of the workplace. People are not clear on what they need to be doing, right? 1 week, here's the target, right? The next week, the target moves, right? And now I'm being reprimanded, right? Because I was hitting the wrong goal. Didn't nobody tell me that the target was moving, right? So we have to understand that when we stop and we think about it, people need to understand where they stand and they need to understand their expectations clearly. See, when you move the goal, right? When you move the goal, listen, that's not called accountability, y'all. You know what that's called? It's called chaos. And in some of our workplaces right now, all we're seeing is chaos. So let me give you the leadership reset today, right? This is what we need to do. Listen, we need to be absurdly clear about what success looks like. Let me say it again. We need to be absurdly clear about what success looks like and repeat it often. Repeat that thing often. Don't assume, y'all. Specifically when people get silent. Don't assume that their silence means understanding. It doesn't necessarily mean that they understand, right? And when things change, say so. Tell people. Let people in on the why. Why is this changing? Not just what's changing, right? Let them know the why behind it. Listen, people don't have to always agree with the why, but at least they understand, right? At least they're in the know as to what's going on. Here's the truth, y'all. People can handle pressure. They can. But what they can't handle is performing in a fog, right? They can't handle not knowing what to do. They can't handle not knowing which way to go. So leaders, I need us. We have to lead with clarity. We have to lead with consistency, right? We have to let them know where they stand so they can stand strong, right? But standing strong comes from knowing where I stand. So understand, when people say things like, I don't know where I stand, it's our responsibilities, leaders, to make sure that they know exactly where they stand. Like I said, if they know where they stand, they can stand strong. Let me give you the third one. I've heard people say this. I don't feel safe to speak up, right? People aren't feeling safe to speak up. Can I get real for a second? Can I get real? Check this out. Disengaged teams aren't just quiet. You know what they are? They're afraid, y'all. They're afraid of being judged. They're afraid of being labeled, right? They're afraid that saying I'm not okay might cost them something. Listen, when people feel unsafe, they don't innovate. They're not being creative. They don't share. And here's a bigger one. They shrink, right? Look around your workplace right now. Are people shrinking? If they are, maybe they don't feel safe enough to speak up. So let me give you the leadership reset for this. Here it is. You ready? Create space where it's okay to struggle out loud. Let me say it again. Create space where it's okay to struggle out loud, right? It's not just okay, right? It's not just okay. Let me say it this way. It's expected, right? We're creating a space where it's expected and it's okay because we all gonna struggle. We're all gonna struggle. So try this, y'all. Ask your team. Listen, what's one thing that you're navigating right now that's making work harder? Ask them that question. What's one thing that you're navigating right now that's making work harder? Watch this, then stop. Shut up. Don't say nothing else. Just listen. Listen to what they're going to say. Be attentive. Look at them. Nod. Smile. Let them know that it's a safe space for them to share. Don't correct them. Just care, right? Just care. That's it. Because when someone risks honesty, right? You're at a crossroad, right? You're at a crossroad. You're either gonna build trust or you're gonna reinforce that silence. We don't need to reinforce the silence. Safety for us, right? Safety in the workplace. That's the soil where connection is going to grow. And if we're talking about burnout, y'all, burnout ends where the trust begins. So if I'm keeping it real with y'all, burnout isn't solved with PTO. It's not, right? Burnout is solved when people feel seen, when people feel safe, when people feel significant. Listen to me, y'all. They don't need another off day. You know what they need? They need to know that they matter, even when they're tired, y'all. Even when they're tired. If the people that you're working with, if they feel like tools, they'll eventually break, right? If they feel like people, though, they'll rise, right? They'll rise. They'll rise to the occasion. Y'all listen to me. What I'm talking about, it's not fluff. What I'm talking about is real leadership, right? That's the ROI, right? That's the return on investment. So listen to me. Listen to me. If burnout or you feel like burnout is rising, stop asking this question. Stop asking what's wrong with our people and start asking what's broken in our leadership. Because burnout isn't the disease, y'all. Disconnection is. Disconnection is the disease. But you know what the cure is? Connection. Every single time. Connection. We got to get to the place where we're building strong connections with our people. All right? Now listen, if this resonated with you, I want to talk to you. This is what I'm doing. I'm offering a free strategy session as my gift to you. Look, this isn't a sales call. This isn't a bait and switch. I just want to give you space to take an honest look at your culture, to help you build a plan so that you can re-engage your team and revive your leadership environment. That's it. That's it. Why am I doing this? If I'm honest with you, I'm doing it because I'm tired of hearing about and watching disengagement destroy good teams and good people. Now listen, if later on you want to explore how I might support you, your organization, if you want to talk about that at some other point in time, that's great. But that has nothing to do with this gift that I'm giving to you, because I'm giving it to you no strings attached, right? I'm just giving it to you. So here's the reality. Here's the reality. If you want this, if you want to do this, let me put this inside of the comments. Bam. Bam. It's right there inside of the comments box. You can click that link right there. Schedule a time. Let's hook it up. Let's see what's going on with your culture. and let's figure this thing out together. Because at the end of the day, you don't got to do this, y'all, right? So stay bold, stay human, right? And stay unmuted. Because when we do that, that's when things really change, y'all. That's it. That's all I got for you, man. That's all I got. I'll be back here next week giving you some more tips, giving you some more tools, because that's what we do here on, our little podcast, man. Our little podcast. So, until next week, y'all be easy. This is Unmuted. We'll talk to you soon. Peace.